Hey everybody, it's Jenny, and before we get started, I am planning on trying to release new videos every week in 2025. That is my goal. So if you would like to see this, please leave a comment below. Please tell me that you'd like to see these videos or what type of videos you really enjoy watching. This lets me know that I should upload videos every week, and I am not begging for comments or anything like that. Before I go through the effort of uploading videos, I'd like to know if people enjoy watching them. So if you don't care either way, that's cool. You totally don't have to comment. But if you like the videos and you want to watch them, please leave a comment below. All right, so I am making my own stickers for this week in my Hobonichi Cousin using a stamp set, a die set, I guess, theoretically, and a stencil set from Pink Fresh. I will link those up for you below. I am using my Misty here to, instead of a stamp block, to stamp on the sticker paper. So yes, I'm using a little 4x6 sheet of sticker paper, and I just got that black outline. And then this is a layered stencil. So I'm going to do each layer of the stencil, obviously, with a variety of colors of distress ink. So we are going to use green for the leaves, of course, but I'm going to use a couple of different colors of green. And then I'm going to use some blue and some purple, and then little yellow accents in the center of the florals. Now, what I love most about using the brushes and the stencils is that it's so easy. Anybody can do it, and it's really gorgeous in the end. It can take a little bit to get the hang of layered stencils, but if you pay attention, the stencils usually tell you which order to use them. So you can absolutely do that. Now I pulled out this little mat and I'm going to put it down, but spoiler alert, I'm actually going to use this other thing, this stamp wheel sticky mat. And so I didn't need to put this down, but I didn't remember even I had that until after I had already gotten this place down. I like to do this because then it doesn't get ink all over my desktop. I use this thing, I have a larger one as well that I use when I use my alcohol inks, and because those are messy and very, very staining. This is the stamp wheel thingy. It's very sticky. It's essentially just like a very large grid stamp, but like 6x6 or 8x8 or something like that. But it holds everything in place so beautifully. You don't need to use any tape or anything. So again, had I remembered that I had that, I wouldn't have had to put that brown mat down in the first place, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to use a variety of sizes, some teeny tiny, some slightly bigger, and then some of those larger ones to ink these up. There's really no rhyme or reason. It's just what I have, and the smaller the better because most of these shapes are fairly small. Like I said, I'm going to use two different colors of green just because I wanted some of the depth and variety in the leaves, and I figured that really helped. And so I'm just rubbing this on. You can use a different intensity. You can do it lighter for, as you guessed it, lighter coverage, and you can do it harder or, again, hard or darker coverage. But I'm just enjoying the process is really all I have to say about this. I am sure there are like 100 techniques that I don't know. And at this moment, I'm really not particularly interested in. I'm not trying to make, I guess I'll say, expert level, like mini works of art by doing this. This is really just meant for me to enjoy the process and feel creative while making stickers for my planner. So yeah, this is really fun to do. And you can blend these inks just like you would, like say, an alcohol marker. You can actually like blend these and make them really smooth and look seamless, like a variety of colors and stuff. Actually, it wouldn't be, I'll say it wouldn't be that terribly difficult in that the brushes do a lot of the work. You have the inks, they also help. And we pulled the stencil off and you saw it was just the leaves. Now we're going to go in and we're going to do this floral. And this is the first layer of the flowers. And I love it. It's really so fun to watch each piece come together. And it's easy to do thanks to this. I got these four new Distress Oxide ink colors, and truthfully, it's probably been like 6 weeks now, but I haven't used them yet. So I'm just inking up this scratch piece of sticker paper just so I can get a good look at what the colors are because I haven't had a chance to swatch them yet. But I figured that blue, that lighter blue, would be something that I wanted to use, and voila, it was. So I wanted to make sure that like I had a good understanding. Look how pretty all four of those colors are. I'm not saying that they go together, but individually they're each really nice. I had started because I wanted kind of a darker, more navy, like sapphire color. Obviously, I just got hooked by the other colors as well. And, it's fun to add a couple new ink pad colors to your collection. I don't necessarily need Distress Oxides for this. They have a variety of things you can do with them to sort of change the way that they appear. If we're being perfectly honest, that's way above my pay grade. Like, I could do it, I know what they're for and stuff. It's just that I'm not using them to their full capabilities. I could use, actually, if you want to know the truth, I could use ordinary ink pads and it would be just fine. I like these because they're really thick and they're really creamy. And so they blend really nicely. And again, they add to the enjoyment of me using them. And let's not forget, they have a wide variety of really beautiful colors too. So that's also really fun. And you have a whole like rainbow of them you can see right there, and they just look so cute all together. So I enjoy the whole thing, basically, is what I'm getting at. So I'm just still filling in some of the smaller flowers now. This is sort of a lavender color. It might even be called milled lilac, if I'm not mistaken. I'll link it for you below. But it's just pretty and it blends with the other blue. And then we'll have like I don't even know, I guess it's a turquoise color, kind of salvaged patina, I think it is. And it just adds that little pop of, again, we're going to call it turquoise, but it just adds that little pop, and I think it's really pretty. And then at the end, we'll add the little centers of all of these that have the yellow. And it's not because I think that like all flower centers need to be yellow. I just wanted something that was going to show up, like versus using white or whatever. And I just wanted another little accent color on there. So I'm using like the teeniest, tiniest little brush for these teeny tiny little dots that are going to become the centers of these flowers. So as you can see, we've done the first two steps. I took a 4x6 piece of sticker paper. I stamped the stamp, which is just one, basically 4x6. I think it's really not quite that size, but stamp. And then after I had that one big image, then I'm using these layered stencils to color in all of the flowers. So cute. Love the color combo. And now I'm going to use the metal dies and my die cut machine to cut out each individual one. So it'll cut front and back. It's not going to be making kiss cut stickers like you buy a sticker sheet. It's not going to be that. It's just going to be basically self-adhesive die cuts, for lack of a better word. But I like the weight of the paper. It's very familiar to me in terms of, it's just sticker paper, right? So I buy tons of stickers. I use tons of stickers. So I didn't want it to be cardstock. I didn't want to use like normal paper and then put adhesive on the back. Sticker paper was the way to go for sure. And turns out it really, really works wonderfully. And it makes me sort of look at some of these things that I have a little bit differently, not because I have to or I need to or anything like that, but when I'm feeling really uber wanting to be creative and really sort of dig in. All right, so now this is just an old school. If any of you use dies, back when you were scrapbooking or now currently when you're scrapbooking, it's just a die cut machine. It's easy. What I like about this one and why I specifically sought this one out is that it folds up and has a small footprint for storage. I don't need a heavy duty die cutter. I'm not using it regularly. I'm storing it far more often than I'm using it. So I wanted something that had a small footprint for storage. This one does a fantastic job. It was fairly inexpensive and it has a small footprint when you store it. Okay, so I'm just peeling all of these out. The backing is still on there. They're going to be sticky. They're just like individual little sticker flakes and they are perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. And honestly, it didn't require any technology, which is what the goal is for me in that I really, really, really love a good analog hobby. All right, so now we'll take these stickers and we'll add them to the good old planner. So I am using my Hobonichi Weeks, and I am sad to say, and this is not a Weeks, I'm sorry, Han. I am sad to say that I am going to be abandoning this planner after this week. This happens to be one of the versions that the paper is not up to the usual Tomoe River paper quality, and I am having significant shadowing and even some bleeding with markers and pens that for the past 6 years I have not had a problem with. So I have reached out to Hobonichi. We'll see if I get a response. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful they'll just replace it with a better one. But if not, I will purchase a different brand. And it's a bummer. It's a total and complete bummer, but that's just how it is. So I'm adding some washi at the bottom, and then I will add another strip of washi at the top. I just like this. I like the way that it sort of gives it a firm top and a firm bottom. Like think about bookends. Like, I mean, obviously it would be, flipped 90 degrees, but I just like that it gives a starting and a stopping point for the top and the bottom of the layout. So I chose two different colors, but they're obviously very complementary. I chose these two because they coordinate with the colors that I chose for the ink pads. And I'm very happy with how it all came together. I think that color-wise, it's really cute and it works well. All right, so I wanted to just lay them out, get a good idea of what I had. And then I'm going to use the three larger bouquets or clusters, if you will, to create my visual triangle. So if you're new here, I create a visual triangle most of the time in almost all of my designs. Your eye wants to see things in groups of threes. A triangle is just a very complementary design. You see it a lot in basically graphic design and home design and, just anything where you're being intentional about the way that you're putting things together. And it's how I think in terms of design. And so it works out really well for me to do this. And then I can go and plan around that and then fill in any extra decoration if I'd like to. All right, so I'm using these little Coffee Monsters Co. stickers just to notate my social media planning and then like work tasks that are due slash need to be done that day. This is what I am using for my, I will say work planner, but it's work like deadlines and due dates and then social media. So it's a little bit complicated. Not complicated, it's just a little bit unusual and it's not as simple as just saying, oh, it's my work planner. But I call it that just because it is the easiest way to explain it without over explaining it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I use a Hobonichi Weeks for future planning. So what does that mean? That means that say tomorrow I call the dentist and I make a dentist appointment and they give me an appointment in March. I need to write that down somewhere. I need to, be able to keep track of all of these things. So that's where this Hobonichi Weeks comes in. I use a pencil and I write down all of my future plans. I also, because I read a lot and I like to read advanced reader copies and I really enjoy the process of doing that and the process of keeping track of them and all of the things, I like to each week know which books are publishing that I have in my queue. And so I am keeping track of those in the sidebar. It's great. It's working out really, really well for me. And I like it a lot. I'm, playing with different methods and different lettering styles always, 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 always. I'm always playing. I'm always changing things up. It's just part of what I really like to do. That is just really a big part of who I am. So I'm going to go ahead and add, I know I have some emails, I know I have some calls, I know those are sort of the, due dates or things to remember, like I said already about work. And then at the bottom, I will put my own personal social media posts just because it's easier for me to keep track of. Again, sometimes I have to post things on specific days. Again, this is probably not news to anybody. However, I also like to mentally sort of map it out to make sure that I get things posted the way that I like them. This also just really, really, really keeps me on track and creating. And I know that's hard to probably understand, but it's the same thing about the advanced reader copies. Having deadlines really motivates me and I like it. And so this way, knowing, okay, I'm going to post this on Thursday. Well, I need to have it created. And I like that. I know it sounds probably very limiting to some people, but to me it's just literally perfect. So I work best when I have that sort of structure and those sorts of guidelines. Otherwise, I flounder a little bit. So this is a Kaweco Sport pen, and I am using a Ferris wheel press ink. I will link it up for you below. Pen, all of those things too, just in case you're interested. I love my Kaweco Sports. I love my Lamy All Stars. And then I really enjoy a wide variety of inks. I do have a handful of, I'll say, nicer slash more expensive pens, and I enjoy those too, but I really like how lightweight these pens are, and they don't feel precious. They feel like they're great for getting things done, and that's important. All right, so thanks so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. Talk to you soon.